to 3 points, and you say that wasn't one of Belichick's crowning achievements.
Who controlled the game?
Oh,
because they controlled the football. The offense did.
It doesn't.
Who won time of possession? Brady's offense.
Skip, it doesn't.
It was masterful.
Skip, it doesn't matter if you have the ball a little or a lot. What do you do with it when you have it? The Rams didn't do anything when they possessed. See, the thing that you always do is that you want to shift the argument. I don't know if you noticed this. QBR. Skip loves that stat because it takes into so many things into account. Did you know who had the highest QBR in all of football last year, Skip?
Did.
Who did?
The one-year wonder.
I was nothing. I'm not going to do it.
You know, I got to say, I love this quote. The Mahomes part of this. I got to read this.
Okay, go ahead, read it.
There's one executive, I don't know what he was, it says former head coach, said, you play for Andy Reid and you're going to have numbers to the point that what's-his-name thinks he's a Hall of Famer. What's-his-name is Donovan McNabb. I love Donovan. He's a friend. But again, he's been saying, I belong in the Hall of Fame. You can certainly make the case.
Okay.
But you can also make the case he's an Andy Reid product.
Okay.
Is Tom Brady a Belichick product? No. Tom Brady is the inventor of the whole offense. He runs that side of the ball. Right?
Let me ask you a
question. Is Belichick an offensive guru?
I'm just asking you a question.
Okay.
If I take Drew Brees, I take Aaron Rodgers, I take my homeboy, I take Ben Roethlisberger, and I set them in New England with the #1 playoff rushing attack, a top 5 rushing attack, Coach Belichick and a top 10 scoring defense, 18 of the 20 seasons which Tom, excuse me, let me take that back, 17 of the 19 seasons in which Tom Brady's played, do they do less?
Oh, way less.
Oh, my goodness, stop it.
This guy is all-time clutch. He's the clutchest performer I've ever seen, including Michael Jordan, and I tell you that only because he's had so many more opportunities on the biggest stage in the sport than Michael had in his sport.
Skip, this is not to diminish anything that Tom has done. But what happens, the problem that I have with so many is that when they lose, Coach Belichick's defense, did you see him give up 40 to Coach Belichick's defense? But when Coach Belichick's defense holds a team to 3 points in a Super Bowl, we're not talking about the first game of the season. We're not talking about when they shut everybody down the last game of the regular season when it doesn't matter.
He's finally made amends for what he did the previous year, which was allow Nick Foles, the backup quarterback, to score 40.
What about
the greatest
show?
Does that not disqualify the genius?
The first Super Bowl, the greatest show on turf, with 3 Hall of Famers. Orlando Place was the first ballot. Kurt Warner went in.
Long time ago.
Tom Brady won it. So we're going to discount that because
that was his first year starting. You know, did Patrick Mahomes win the Super Bowl last year? No. Was Tom Brady not incredibly, ridiculously clutch in that Super Bowl as a young quarterback, first-timer?
Skip, in 3 playoff games, he threw 1 touchdown. He only threw 1 more touchdown.
John Madden was up in the booth saying, boy, they better shut it down and play for overtime. Completion. 5 completions sets up a 49-yard field goal.
If you don't mind me asking, what did Coach Belichick's defense do?
They were great. That was him at his best. He's lost his fastball over the last
He just held the #1 scoring offense to 3 points, and he lost his fastball?
I think that was Sean McVay and Jared Goff's problem.
But Skip, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, I'm not ashamed of myself. You should be ashamed of yourself for trying to discount what this man did last year at age 42.
Skip,
he beat Aaron Rodgers head-to-head. And guess what he threw for in the fourth quarter? 104 yards in the fourth quarter as they beat Aaron Rodgers' team 14-0 in the fourth quarter. That was in Foxborough. Again, I just told you what he did to Mahomes. Regular season against Mahomes, Tom Brady in the fourth quarter threw for 182. You like that? Man, it's ridiculously. I just told you what he did in the playoff game.
Skip, you realize he's doing that against the 31st ranked defense.
Okay, all right, but he's shredding. He's playing at a Mahomes, the kind of level you say Mahomes plays at.
Who didn't shred Kansas City's defense?
Nobody shredded it like that.
Yes, they
182 in the fourth quarter.
Did you see what Jared Goff did on the Monday night?
This guy's 42 years old.
Did you see what Jared Goff did to that defense on the Monday night?
Yeah, I guess so. It was just hard for me to watch. You loved it. I told you I didn't love it.
Why?
I didn't love it.
But you know why you didn't love it? Because let Tom Brady hang 55 on somebody. You love it.
So last year, Tom Brady beat Deshaun Watson in the opener. Then he beat Andrew Luck. Then he won at Chicago, which was no cakewalk.
So now we're talking about Mitchell Trubisky.
Then he put up his best numbers at Miami because he threw for 358, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Did he win?
And your man Belichick just handed it back with a complete disaster of a breakdown. Am I right about that?
No.
It was just the Miami miracle occurred. Thank you, Bill Belichick. And he forced Tom Brady Brady to have to win a playoff game. He forced him to have to go win a playoff game at Kansas City. That game on that day should have been iced for Foxborough, right?
Well, you know, he could have saved himself if he didn't lose to Tennessee. He could have saved himself and not been forced to win a road playoff game if he had won in Detroit. So was that Coach Belichick's fault?
But he got him right back in position to have home field throughout the playoffs, and Bill Belichick spit the bit. He spit the bit.
He gave up 10 points in Tennessee.
And this brings us back to Aaron Rodgers, who is he's become the most overrated quarterback in football because he's number one on this list.
What did the exec say?
I'm sorry.
What did the exec say?
Okay, well, you know, that's interesting you bring that up because the first quotes that Mike Sando uses here are all negative quotes. Sure. It's like he's backing into the fact that, well, he says that 2 of the voters even placed Rodgers in the second tier, and that's the first time Rodgers received a second-tier vote since 2014 when he was coming off injury.
Well, let me ask you a question. How many tier 2 votes did Brady get?
Well, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers now, so you're interrupting the flow because you're trying to distract the audience from the fact that we talked about the Madden evaluators yesterday, and they rank Aaron Rodgers as the 7th best quarterback in football because he has declined over the last 3 years. His completion percentage and QBR have dipped, and dropped over the last 3 years.
If he just checked the ball down like that, he'll be right back up in the 70%.
So here's the first quote I read from a GM who did nonetheless place Rodgers in the top tier, but he said, you see the body language, and then you realize the heroics come when there is nothing to lose. Because last year they lost and lost and lost. They went 6-9-1 last year, so all of his heroics came when it was basically meaningless.
So open it. Hold on. I'll make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Yep.
So that game against Chicago, there was nothing to lose.
Well, that was the first game, right?
Was there anything to lose?
Well, I guess not. But then after that, they went 6-9-1. Did those games count? Or maybe you win the Super Bowl in the first week. I don't know. Maybe you got different rules in the Hall of Fame. They're not my rules.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many tier 2 votes did Tom Brady receive?
Okay, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not finished yet because Mike Sando says those most critical of Rodgers raised concerns about him becoming less coachable. I think you would agree with that. Failing to get Green Bay into the playoffs. I think everybody would have to agree with that because it's just a fact.
Yes.
And losing some dynamism through cumulative injuries.
Yes.
They build up and they tear you down, and you can't quite get it back, and you can't quite get it back. Are we seeing him slowly declining at a much younger age than Tom Brady?
But you can't say that, Skip. Because you said Aaron Rodgers wasn't hurt last year. So that should be ill effect. You shouldn't have even brought that up because I asked you yesterday, and you said he wasn't hurt. You said he's not injured. So
I don't know. I just.
Why are you reading that?
Well, he kept playing. He went 6-9-1. But over time, we're just talking about the cumulative effect. He is 20-18-1 over the last 3 years. Is that
he broke his collarbone 2 years ago. Skip, now you saw the man get injured. Opening night. You saw that, Skip. Why would you pretend like the man wasn't injured?
Well, but he never missed a game. He just kept playing. I don't know how hard he was. I always tell you, I don't know. If you play, what is Shannon Sharp? What did he teach me? If you step on that field, you're healthy.
No, I said if you step on that field,
no excuses.
Fans expect you to be healthy because they see the number in the name of the back.
No excuses.
Okay, I want you to remember you said that.
And then here's the final quote I'm going to read about Aaron Rodgers out of this Athletic piece. Guys like Rodgers get canonized and put on a pedestal so high, it's hard for the coach to keep up. I think he's actually overhyped and maybe overrated by the media and the fans to the point that the coach cannot keep up. That's my take.
No, what you know his take is that because Rodgers is so accomplished and what he's been able to do, you put him on such a pedestal that the coach, unless it's a Coach Belichick, is unable to reach him. Now, Coach Belichick could get through.
Okay. Well, I don't think Aaron's going to be coached by Coach Belichick this year because that kid who's going to coach him is going to have a hard time getting through to him. And yet the final quote from this coach who's talking, he did place Rodgers in the top tier, but he says someone, as in a coach, has to tell him, listen, if you do that again, I'm going to kick you in the, and I'll just say midsection. Okay? I don't think his new young head coach is going to say, I'm going to kick you in the midsection if you do that again. Although I think he has the mandate from above in the Green Bay hierarchy to do so, right? Didn't it sound like?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he told him in a private meeting.
Yeah.
But he better not take that down to the field to Aaron Rodgers.
It would probably be a big mistake.
It would be a grave
now,
mistake.
We step away from all of the above, and after the year that Tom Brady had last year, winning another Super Bowl, beating Aaron Rodgers head-to-head, beating Pat Mahomes twice, you have to conclude that he's easily still the best quarterback in football. It's proven. It's a done deal. It's a fact.
Because this is what you do. And every time I tell you about the Super Bowl, you said, well, what about that throw? Well, I know a guy that almost made a career off one throw per game. His name was Tim Tebow. Now, Tom Brady is not even, I don't even want, but I'm just saying this, Skip Bayless. Tom Brady did not play good in the Super Bowl. He did not play particularly well in the playoffs when you look at the overall. Now, he threw for a bunch of yards.
Against the Chargers, you didn't think he played well?
That's only one game.
Okay, well, it's one of three. Does that count? That's 33 1/3%. So you said he didn't play particularly well. He played all-time great at Kansas City.
Sports, the only time 33 1/3 is good if you're playing baseball. You get a lot of money. If you hit the baseball 3 out of 10 times, you get paid a lot of money. But in football or in basketball, 30% is not good in anything.
So it's 3-0 in the Super Bowl, midway through the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden Brady said, okay, I've had enough of this.
my God.
And he goes, bing, 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 bing to Gronk, touchdown, ball game.
But guess what? They would have won the game 3-0.
He should have been the MVP.
Stop playing.
Oh, he did.
He should not have been no MVP.
Oh, please.
Skip, think about this.
Edelman won the MVP off his first half catches.
Let this sink in for a second, Skip. Like you said, we're midway through the fourth quarter, and the score is 3-0.
Okay.
Coach Belichick,
It happens.
defense.
It happens. It's a hard game.
That's another virtuoso that's going to be in Canton.
Are you saying that Tom Brady was slipping in the Super Bowl, that we're seeing decline in him?
Skip, you saw that.
Would you like to bet against him this year?
You saw that. You
Would
watched
like
the
to bet
game.
against him?
Did you watch the game?
You've gone 3 straight years saying this is the last year for Brady. Okay?
This is it.
Okay. This is it now?
Yeah, 20.
Okay, now we got
This is it now?
Yeah, I told you 20.
Here we go again.
I told you 20.
Okay, so this is
20.
it. Wrong again,
No,
Shannon.
I'm not
He's going to play 2 more years to 45. Yep. And he's about to turn 43.
Oh, I feel like we could talk about this all day.
No.
We could stay on this subject, but we've got to move on. Are we headed for a Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch?
Yep.
We'll discuss that next.
Yep.
Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.